Coming up, Fargo Police issue a warning about the spiking number of deadly overdoses in the city. School bus service is being dropped this year for some students in a local school district, and 2 local cross-country teams pair up to help a young runner battling a serious illness. Hello, and welcome to the Nightly Review. I'm Kyle Cornell, in for Tom Tucker. We begin with a look at tonight's headlines, then a one-on-one conversation with the man who hopes to become the first Republican Attorney General in Minnesota in more than 50 years. Jim Schultz will comment on his primary win and the rest of his campaign against incumbent Democrat Attorney General Keith Ellison. But first, the Fargo Police Department is warning about a recent increase in overdoses in the city, including several that turned deadly. Over the weekend, officers responded to 2 separate calls for unresponsive individuals. Life-saving measures were performed for both people but were unsuccessful. Monday, officers responded to 2 similar calls. One person died, the other was revived and received further medical treatments. The Fargo Fire Department is looking to hire new firefighters. The application process begins this coming Monday and runs through September 5th. After the 5th, the department will interview and evaluate qualified candidates. Minimum requirements include being at least 18 years old and having completed 60 hours of college coursework in any subjects. A pro-life group has announced plans to hold a rally in Moorhead near the site of the new Red River Women's Clinic. The clinic opened the site, which anticipated closing their Fargo office. The move follows recent Supreme Court decisions to overturn Roe v. Wade. Pro-Life Action Ministries says their Life Rally is set for Friday, August 19th at 7 p.m. The city of Moorhead indicates there are no policies or ordinances which prevents abortions from being performed at the new sites. Some students who ride the bus in Moorhead area public schools will see changes this year because of a severe shortage of bus drivers. The district is currently short 14 drivers. The school board considered options to deal with the shortage at their meeting Tuesday. The plan approved removes bus service for students in middle schools, the high school, and the career academy who live within 2 miles of their schools. Well, should you be expecting issues with COVID-19 this year for Fargo schools? Superintendent Dr. Rup Pagani says not nearly as much, but the district is still playing a bit of catch-up.
Obviously, COVID changed the plans and the scheduled plans that we had put in place because that was an uncontrolled disruption in terms of not only the modality in which we provide instruction, but a lot of the other pieces and factors that came into place.
Dr. Gandhi does say, though, that the learning process throughout the pandemic has been something he's looked forward to.
I'm also just excited to learn from COVID and capitalize on those opportunities because I think there's a lot to learn from the last couple of years and be optimistic about the state of education moving forward.
This comes after discussion that mitigation strategies against the virus like masking and social distancing are expected to be relaxed this year. High school cross-country teams from Fargo Davies and Fargo South teaming up to support Fargo South freshman runner Clara Machenbacher. In May, she was diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma. Today, the 2 teams put on a car wash and bake sale. A support page has also been set up for Clara at caringbridge.com. The funeral procession route has been announced for former Clay County Sheriff Bill Bergquist. And Bergquist is described as a beloved member of law enforcement here in the community. He died last month at the age of 64 after battling Alzheimer's dementia. The funeral is set for this coming Monday in Moorhead. For more details on the service and the procession route, you can head over to our website, WDAYradionow.com. North Dakota Attorney General Drew Wrigley is proposing tougher sentences for violent criminals. The move follows a series of shootings over the weekend here in Fargo. Wrigley's legislation would apply to those who commit a crime while having a gun they purchased illegally. He says the tougher penalties would make violent criminals think twice about their actions. North Dakota electric vehicle drivers will soon see more charging stations in rural areas of the state. The U.S. Department of Transportation has awarded the state nearly $1.5 million to install more vehicle chargers across the state. North Dakota is aiming at installing 500,000 electric vehicle charging stations by 2030 to modernize the transportation system. And Sun Country Airlines will provide an additional option for travelers wanting to visit Las Vegas. Beginning September 8th, Sun Country will offer direct flights from Williston to Las Vegas. Flights will take off on Thursdays and Sundays until December 18th. There's also plans to offer flights to Phoenix. Well, thanks as always for choosing the Night Review as your sources for news and information for all that's happening here in the FM metro area. If you haven't done so already, please take a moment to hit subscribe and the bell button below to make sure you never miss an episode. A relatively mild day weather-wise across the Red River Valley. Meteorologist Justin Storm is in the Skywatch Weather Center to let us know if a change is brewing.
Thanks, Kyle. As we head through the rest of this evening, mostly cloudy to partly sunny conditions will continue. We'll have wind out of the southeast around 5 to 15 with a few scattered showers pushing across the valley to the southeast. Overnight, we hang on to that slight chance for some scattered showers, even a couple thunder showers possible. Lows will dip down to the lower 60s with a southeast wind remaining fairly light around 5 to 15 miles per hour. Now for Friday, a few showers possible in the morning. Otherwise, we'll see partly sunny to mostly cloudy conditions throughout the afternoon. Temperatures peak in the lower 80s with a southeast wind 10 to 20 in, gusting up to 30 at times. That wind will lighten up for Saturday. Some sunshine will return across the area with high temperatures remaining in the lower 80s.
It could happen to you or someone you love. One moment, one diagnosis can change everything. Thankfully, there's a program that helps caring people uplift families through a crisis. Lend a Hand Up, raising financial help and hope through community benefits and online campaigns. A program that boosts generosity so gifts go further. Lend a Hand Up helps you help your neighbors. Learn more and give at lendahandup.org.
Welcome back to the Nightly Review. As expected, the Republican candidate for Attorney General in Minnesota, Jim Schultz, cruised to an easy primary win in Tuesday's election. So did his opponent, Democrat incumbent Keith Ellison. Schultz joined us for a post-win conversation and first talked about his victory.
Yeah. We felt very confident going into yesterday. We worked incredibly hard. I put on 8,000 miles throughout Minnesota over the past 5 weeks itself, and just really working hard. And I think we were confident that our message was resonating, our message being that we have to restore public safety to Minnesota and support law enforcement. And so we did feel confident going into it. I felt very good that we won, I believe, 86 out of 87 Minnesota counties. So a really broad-based win, almost 20 points. And we really felt confident we would win. It was great to get a really decisive win last night.
Schultz was asked what he thinks contributed to his win.
A few things. I was the candidate endorsed by the Republican Party. I won that endorsement in May. I was the candidate endorsed by law enforcement. And to allude to the previous point, I think our message has resonated. In Minnesota, we've had just such extraordinary crime these past few years, and people are just fed up with it. People deserve to live in safe communities. They deserve to have crime prosecuted aggressively. And we haven't had that the past few years. And so I think our message, really focusing on crime and holding Keith Ellison, the most extreme far-left attorney general in Minnesota's history, holding him accountable is really what resonated with folks.
Schultz also commented on Keith Ellison's win in the primary and talked about where he sees the race going from here.
Yeah, well, we feel very good about where the race stands. The most recent poll has me leading. There's some private polls that have been circulating that also have me leading. So we feel very confident that we'll be that we're in the lead right now, and that will ultimately be in the lead come November. And I think we're going to be focused like a laser beam on crime, and Ellison will try to distract from that in all sorts of different ways. But the fact is, he is the Attorney General, the Chief Law Enforcement Officer of our state, who's presided over the most significant increase in crime in Minnesota's history. Alongside that, he's embraced policies like defunding the police, these other policies that have led to the revolving door of criminals not being held accountable for their actions. And so there's a straight line from those policies that he's embraced to the level of crime that we've seen, where just last year, there's 100 murders in Minneapolis, a comparable pace for this year already. And that is just unacceptable. It's easy to get lost in the stats, but these are individual human lives, individual souls that these deserve to be protected. These people who have been carjacked, 650 carjackings in Minneapolis alone. And then, of course, we've got issues in the rest of the state as well. We've got significant drug issues that the AG's office has not supported county attorneys on essentially at all. We've got issues around human trafficking that, again, the AG's office has been fundamentally absent from. And so we have to ensure that the Attorney General's office of Minnesota is doing its job of protecting Minnesotans. And so we'll be articulating that case going forward. And we're confident that we can win this race, not just by a point, but that we could win this race by 5 points.
I'd like to thank Republican candidate for Attorney General of Minnesota, Jim Schultz, for appearing in tonight's one-on-one conversation. Today, we completed an interview with incumbent Attorney General Keith Ellison, commenting on his win and the rest of his campaign. We'll look to share that and some of his comments with you tomorrow night. Well, that's going to do it for this Thursday night, August 10th, 2022. I'm Kyle Cornell, once again filling in for Tom Tucker tonight. Thanks for watching the Nightly Review.